Last week I talked about laying down vocals. We're getting into the recording phase of the process as I'm on my journey creating my new record, Kingdom Radio, that I'll be dropping in June. I am giving tips and techniques and things that I have used and still using to create a project, whether it is a single or an EP or a full-length album. These are the things that I am using. So last week I talked about, again, laying down lead vocals, but today I want to go back into that and talk about laying down background vocals, and at least what I do to lay down my background vocals. Now, before you start that, decide whether your arrangement involves just unison or it involves parts, and how you want to lay that down. Now, what I do is, before I do my lead vocals, I'm sure other people do the same thing. Before I do my lead vocals, I go into my backgrounds, and same process. I just take it chorus by chorus, laying down these vocals. So when I go to do my lead vocals, I have something in the background to help me to get through the song. But what I do, let's just say, if for the arrangement, maybe the first chorus, this is the way you can do it. The first chorus is in unison. All right, so I'll lay down my vocals, and what I do is I lay it down for each, soprano, alto, tenor. And what I do later on is I go back and I double those. All right, so I have a thicker sound. So for the first chorus, yes, you can do a unison, and go through that process. But maybe for the second chorus, you want there to be harmony. All right, so for my second chorus, I go into laying down soprano, alto, tenor. Again, same thing. I don't do as many takes for the background. All right, I'll say that I do about 2 to 5 takes for each part. 2 to 5 takes, and I'm out of there. All right. And if I need to fix a few things, I'll fix a few things later on. But 2 to 3 takes for each part, and same thing. Make sure I double those things because it's a thicker sound. When you pass this thing on to the engineer, they'll work their magic, and it'll sound amazing, and all that. Another thing that you can do for background vocals, or for fill-ins, is, let's just say, during the verse, maybe there's some spots where you want to put some other vocals in there just to fill in the space. All right, and you have to be careful with that because you don't want it to be too busy. But you go in and you pick your spots for lead vocal, during the verse. You pick your spots where you want to add some more vocals. Now, a couple ways you can do this. You can let's just say that the main lead vocal sings a line, and you can take either a word from that phrase, or you can do some type of run to just fill in the space, something that makes sense. All right, and that can be just one voice. All right, you probably still want to double, as far as the mixing process is concerned. You probably still want to double that part. Or you can leave it as is, because you don't want that part to be as strong, because you're going to be panning that, and you're going to be, depending on how you do it, pushing it back into the mix a little bit. It's not going to be prominent, but it's going to be there. It's going to add to what the lead vocal is singing. All right. Or you can choose, second way, you can choose to take a snippet of a phrase, and harmonize with the lead vocal. It could be a couple of words. It could be 2 or 3 words. You can harmonize with that vocal. So you'll end up with a 2-part harmony, the lead vocal, and then the extra vocal you put in. Or you can add another voice and have a 3-part harmony. You can harmonize, and you have 3 parts. All right. So you have the lead vocal, another vocal for the fill-in, and another fill-in vocal. So you have 3-part harmony. These are a couple of ways that you can add spice to your lead vocals as the verse is going on. This is really, really important. Great techniques. And another thing that I have learned and I've seen as far as the lead vocal is concerned, and this can happen later on, but what you can do is record the lead vocal, but record it 4 more, or you can double it, 4 more times, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why. I'm gonna give you a visual. So let's just say your lead vocal's in the middle. And let's just say that your top vocal is you take it up an octave, you take that another vocal and you do an octave down, and let's just say the other two vocals are to the side, but they're panned to the side, but they're quieter. All right, and this gives the lead vocal a thicker sound. Another way that you can just add more voices and give your lead vocal a thicker sound. All right, so today I'm talking about background vocals, and I'm talking about vocals that you can add around the lead vocal. All right, and so these are just some of the things that I use to lay down my vocals. My very first single, as I was learning some years ago, I didn't double my background vocals, but ever since then I learned that. A friend of mine told me about that. I double my vocals to make sure I got that thicker sound. And what's going to happen during the mixing and mastering phase, I'll just go ahead and give you this as far as the background vocals are concerned. Of course, they'll mix them, they'll make sure everything's in place. You have your de-esser, you have your compressor, you have your EQ, you have these things in place. Make sure everything fits to where it's supposed to. Now what's going to happen is the two soprano voices, you're going to take one and pan to the left, and you're going to take one and pan to the right. All right, but it's going to be pushed. It's not going to be as loud as the lead vocal, but it's going to be pushed back in the mix a little bit. All right, you do the same thing for the alto, you do the same thing for the tenor. All right, and you can even add vocals around the backgrounds, just little things that you can add to fill in spaces even around the backgrounds, especially if your backgrounds are unison. You can add some things around there to add interest. All right, and I think this is a very, very important thing to do, to add interest, keep your listener on their toes, making sure they stay engaged. All right, and so pick your words that you want to harmonize with. Maybe there are some runs you want to do, something slight but nothing too busy, to add around a verse or to add around a chorus that keeps interest around your song. And I did a couple of episodes, talking about keeping the interest of your singers. So do me a favor, go and check out that previous video, and I talk about this also on my podcast. I added even more information on my podcast, Teach One Tuesday podcast. Go and check out those episodes on my channel and on the podcast, so you'll learn more information about how to keep the interest of your listener. All right, so these are some techniques you can use, all right, as far as background vocals is concerned, and laying them down, and how I have laid them down, how other people do it. All right, I want to thank you so much for checking this out. I hope you're having a wonderful day. If you're not having a wonderful day, you can change that by your mindset. Thanks so much. Tony King out.